how was I convinced? I mean, my manager in the US sent me the script, and he actually pushed really hard for me to do this. He said, "You have to do this film. You should do this film because it's just the right thing to do. It is very topical, and you should do this." I mean, it didn't take that much convincing to do. And Diane and I had actually worked together. I think I recognized her when I met her at that sushi restaurant across the street from Circle in the Square. I looked at her face. I'm like, why do I know you? And it turns out that the two of us had worked together. She had directed me for a Discovery Channel documentary, something. And I can barely remember the experience now. But it was really funny that we had worked on that, and then we worked on Yellow Rose together. And so that's pretty much what got me into it. I mean, the script was beautiful. It was a character that is not so easy to like, which I think is something far more attractive than, far more interesting for me to play after having played many ingenues and heroines in my career. It was interesting to tackle and to try something where the character isn't really, really well liked. So trying to gain some empathy from an audience would be a little more challenging, unlike Rose, who is the hero throughout the entire narrative of the film. And I patterned this character after somebody that I didn't like, and it made for an interesting shoot for me, I guess, and trying to gain empathy for that kind of a human being. But yeah, recently I was reminded of why I didn't like this person, so it was interesting to be revisited by all of this, all at the same time. But yeah, I mean, what convinced me to do this? It was the power of the script, and the power of the story, and the power of my manager's words saying, "This is the right thing to do. You got to do it." So that's it. Rose kasi, it really tackles the plight of undocumented immigrants and immigration policies that are not particularly friendly to undocumented immigrants. For Yellow Rose, even though there's a romantic aspect to it, it really, really focuses on the human component and the human, parang yung kung ano mga nangyayari sa mga tao, mga nadadamay, no thanks to a particularly unfriendly immigration policy in the United States. So it's really what happens when there is a lack of compassion. And so we see Rose's journey, and in seeing her journey, we are also then connected to all other undocumented immigrants, especially Filipino undocumented immigrants in the US. And so we get to see that. We don't always get to see what happens to folks going through that. So hopefully, the folks that watch the movie are able to open their hearts and be a little more empathetic towards people who are going through it.